One.
This is where the fun begins.
Hello, and welcome to Thursday Morning Coffee Chat. How are you guys doing? I see that I have people waiting in the chat section, and I am happy to say I have some coffee here. It's been a quite cozy morning. It's got colder here where I live at. Woke up to 50 degrees, and usually we're like 70s and stuff. So I've been wanting to stay in bed, but here I am. So this is my mug here, Authenticity. And I am enjoying just a basic brewed coffee with cream and sugar. So Stig, how are you doing this morning?
I'm doing okay. I have a Diet Coke. I'll tell you one thing, this diet's not doing shit.
Okay, so why is it not doing shit?
I haven't lost any pounds because of that Diet Coke. So still, I like drinking it.
Yeah, I can't have none of that diet stuff. I like artificial sweeteners. It makes me sick. I get headaches. It just doesn't mesh well with my body. So I stay away from artificial sweeteners. So I will have a little bit of sugar in some things. I'll have honey in some things. But when it comes to artificial sweeteners, I can't have it. So
I had something in honey once, but she didn't complain.
Okay. Well, good morning, everyone. And then, so Lady Toriel, good morning, OG and Stig and chat. And
speaking of honey bunnies, there's Lady Toriel, the elf.
Yes. Hi. Yes. And she says, I hope you're feeling better, OG. And yes, I am still a little bit congested, not as bad. Yesterday, the air quality was really, really good. Now the smoke has returned a little tiny bit, but not as bad. So I'm hoping that all of this congestion here will be okay going forward. So, yeah. And then we have Miss Martin Muses in the house with her standard handshake and rose. And so what are you guys enjoying?
It's not a handshake. It's a slap. You can tell.
It's a slap.
Yeah, she's slapping the shit out of a rose.
She's going like this.
No, it's like a smacking the crap out of a flower who never did her anything wrong.
Oh, well, we can debate on that, but I'll just leave it as is. And then Master of the TDS, glad I was able to make another one of these. And thank you so much for coming in and participating. We are just beginning. So you guys in the chat, share what you guys are enjoying this morning here. My mug has a little saying on there. So this is what it says. Authenticity requires courage and radical self-acceptance. Rise up, live your purpose, beautiful. So that's what that says. That's what it says. Yeah. I don't know why I'm trying to sound like I have an accent, because that's not.
Yeah, you have an accent. I don't.
You have an accent. And then he says, I want more coffee. No fair. Oh, well, why don't you go make yourself some? Orange Hat Review is here. Hello there. How are what we all? And then let's see, Robert De Costa. This is where the fun begins. Right. I love that. I love that beginning. I like the ending too of when I have the outro.
It's another happy landing.
Right. There you go. And then a bottle of water. That's okay. And drink what you need to drink. You know, I've been drinking a lot of water lately because of my sinuses. So I get it. Hello there. So Callum Cannon says.
Hello there.
There you go. And what's this? Are you going to start saying hello, guys? What's this about, Stig? Remember, I seen your tweet about that.
Yeah, some crazy they/them person was giving giving Twitter all kinds of alternatives to hey guys, because apparently that's offensive now too.
Right. It's not offensive.
So I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna say hey guys now just because.
Yeah.
Spite.
Yeah. Because you can't be assuming someone's gender, and if you say guys, that you're assuming someone's a guy, like a man, or whatever. With me growing up, and I think maybe you can relate to this or whatever. It's like a slang. It's just like just addressing everybody. Hey guys, what's up? I mean,
Yep.
it's not as suggestive like, oh, you must be a guy, so I'm calling you that, or a male, so I'm calling you that. It's just a common slang greeting. So
yeah, just go hello them or whatever.
Even if you said that, they'll be like, I'm not a them, I'm a they, or something like that. Some crazy bullshit that they'll say.
Yeah, but my pronouns is someone who says them to everyone. So if they don't accept that, then they're misgendering me.
Yeah. And then you're right, Master of TDS. I saw that people have lost the ability to have thick skin. That and people,
which is ironic given that those people are just skin deep to begin with.
Right? Because people get upset about things too much these days, too much. And you can't even have the same comedians that we had back in the 80s and parts of the 90s anymore, because they're too political correct.
Yeah. But you know why? Because they don't have the balls to not cater to these nutcases.
Right. They used to have the balls. They didn't care. They could insult your race. Like I went to this was like mid 1990s. I went to a comedy show, and they're like, oh, we have a Native American, blah, blah, blah. And so they kind of used, my race as jokes, and I got it. It was funny. It's just what it is. If we can't laugh at ourselves, laugh at our culture, laugh at the stereotypes and make fun of them, then we are doomed as human species, a human race. We should be able to laugh at things.
Stereotypes is basically just satire for comedy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to be offended just because, if I see a Viking in a cartoon, he has a horned helmet.
Yeah.
But apparently people get, offended on behalf of Mexico because they see people with sombreros in cartoons. Speaking of cartoon characters, Matt Wilkins is in the chat.
There you go. I'm drinking fresh black tea from Alabama. Alabama tea. Amazing. Good morning, chat. Stick it in your rear, Stig. Wow. He's like, I'm enjoying some tea, but you just stick it, Stig.
He's been trying to make sexual advances at me for a long time now. I'm like,
yeah, you guys have a bromance going on. And we have Raging Rhino here. Hi, guys. I'm ready. I'm already halfway through Onslaught. Oh, I can't stop. So damn good. Oh, my God.
By onslaught, he means an actual onslaught. He's outside whacking people. It's the book. Okay. My bad.
You thought that he was out there in Australia.
Yeah, he was out there with his boomerang and dingo and onslaughting a pile of people.
I'll say, damn, Raging Rhino, you're savage. South Park Indian Casino episode, right? And let's see here. And then Soul Assassin, hey, I'm Mexican and support Speedy Gonzalez and don't mind the sombrero cartoons. Yeah, you just got to have fun with it. Just have fun and laugh at that stuff. It's stereotypes cease to exist when we start laughing at it and just dismiss them, right? The only time they stick around is if you get offended by them. And that's it. I had to learn the hard way. When I was younger, I used to get mad at all the stereotypes that they put on us natives. And now I'm like, oh, yeah, well, you're just full of shit. It's funny, yes. And I understand where you're coming from in a sense. That's not me, but I can laugh with you about it. So because it's not me, whatever. So
Native Americans have changed because I did a Native American joke in, I think it was 92. And for 3 weeks, I had Indians on horseback circling my house.
Oh shit! All the way in Norway, you're full of shit.
Yeah, they were just circling all day long for 3 weeks. Just
circling like you're a wagon, like you're in a wagon.
Yep.
Circling the wagon.
Yeah.
And then so we're having people saying good day to each other and stuff. I love that in the morning when everybody comes in and they got their coffee or their beverage, or if you're not morning time where you live at, you're still in here enjoying with your favorite beverage. I love it. So Here we go. We have the chat hopping. People are too attached to labels nowadays to just accept a good joke for what it is. Right. That's what today's society is about, is that they're creating labels and they're maintaining racism with these labels. Once we drop these labels and stuff, then we start stepping away from that racist commentary that they're doing, I guess you can say, if you want to call it commentary. So, because that's how I see it. It's just a narrative. Who remembers Blazing Saddles? Yes. Yes. All right. So I'm not trying to make this a political channel or anything like that. I just, it's just a nice little conversation. I like to laugh at anything, everything. I'll even joke around with you and throw some stuff back at you. That's just how I am.
I actually know a Native American joke. Wilkins is asking. Oh, it's kind of like a Native American pickup line.
Okay.
So a Native American walks over to, a girl and says, "If you were a drum, I'd bang you."
Did you just come up with that?
No, I've heard it a long time ago. It's just stuck.
Oh, and it just stuck.
Yep.
You're like all proud. I know a Native American joke. I want to share with you.
Oh, yeah. And there was one Native American woman that was so overweight that her spirit animal was fried chicken.
Oh, Lord. Now, did you just come up with that?
Nah, it's an old one too.
Oh my goodness. Let's see here. Okay, you guys. So this is the progress I have going on with Quinlan Voss. And so far, the vote is son of Kifu. So that's the title, Son of Kifu. I have a few more details to work on with the skin tone, the hair, the planets, and then I got to do the lightsaber. So here we go.
Looks awesome.
There we go. So I'm excited about this, to add it to my inventory. And I'm thinking about selling the originals, but we'll see. We will see.
That was one of the better comic storylines we covered too.
Right.
Quinlan Voss stuff on Kifu.
Right. It was really, really good. Jock Nerdy at $10. Thank you so much for the super chat. When I got zinged and burned, I laughed. Yeah, you just have to laugh at that. You just have to laugh because that's what that's about. It's not about being too serious. If we take life serious, which people are doing that to the point of holding on to these narratives, we start aging, it feels like the human race, it just falls apart when we stop laughing.
Yeah. There is racism out there, but you can kind of tell when it's racist, when it's full-blown racist, because the intent is there. Mm-hmm. If it's just a joke, told in a friendly manner and all, it's correct. It's just being friendly, mm-hmm. Trying to make someone laugh or whatever. Yeah.
And we always do that to each other on Coffee Chat all the damn time. And it's fun.
And during D&D as well.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. God, you guys should hear us in D&D. Oh, my God. You should hear Stig with us 4 women. It's funnier than hell.
I have to put my foot down quite often, actually.
He thinks. Okay. Robert DeCosta. Quinlan Voss. Isn't he that surfer dude from TCW? Oh my God, don't get me started on that one. Okay. And then just kidding. I know you are.
I was going to say something, but I think YouTube's cracking down on that stuff.
They're cracking down on a lot of things.
Yeah, I'm going to type it in the private chat and then
see if I'm like, okay, let's do this. Good morning. And so we're going to get started here pretty quick on the comic. This is Luke's Jabiim arc. I'm thinking of taking Stig's idea and putting Anakin's arc from Battle of Jabiim, put it on PDF, and then this Luke's arc of Battle of Jabiim and put on PDF and put them together because those are magnificent arcs. Both of them. And if you read them back to back, you'd be like, hell yeah, that's one complete story. One amazing arc. Okay, let's see what Stig has to say. Okay. I will see if
They're shutting down. Well, I don't know. I'm just gonna say it.
Go ahead.
I said Quinlan Voss turned into a dumbass surfer dude after the vaccine hit him hard.
And then all of a sudden my channel goes down.
Yeah.
Hunting and fishing channels are being targeted out here. You know,
Yeah.
even history channels in the beginning, if you guys didn't notice this, history channels were being targeted and taken down off of YouTube. History channels like History, Discovery, all of that, they were being taken down, or certain context that they were sharing from the past was being taken down. And so that right there was the warning sign that I don't think a lot of people really paid attention to.
Why would they take down hunting and fishing channels?
Because it resorts to violence and guns. And, and then, so.
Well, how the heck are you going to take down a deer, though? Foul language?
You son of a bitch. No, oh, jeez.
Yeah. Oh, good grief, the mouth on you.
All right. Yes, I have a mouth on me. So, all right. So let's get into this comic here.
I saw someone had found a dead deer.
Uh-huh.
And it was so mutilated they couldn't identify it, so it got labeled John Doe.
There we go. Oh my goodness. All right. And with it's funny that they're targeting those channels and stuff when and it's because when things go down and just say we lose like the common market and we have to start fending for ourselves, hunting and fishing and stuff. If they take that all away from us, we ain't gonna have nothing. The future generations, a lot of them don't know how to hunt and fish and take care of themselves.
It was actually what I was getting at that time when they permanently suspended my Twitter. When I said those skanky bows wouldn't survive a day without their cell phones.
Right.
Yeah, that counted as instigating violence towards a protected group, and I got my.
So the protective group was hoes.
Skanky hoes. Yep.
Skanky hoes.
Yep.
Okay, I didn't know that. So
I put it in quotation marks.
I identify as a skanky hoe. I'm protected, but I don't want to go there. But that's funnier than hell.
Yeah, sure they're protected. They use condoms.
All right, so let's get into this. Let's switch gears now and get into George Lucas era of Star Wars, and this is part 2 of In the Shadow of Their Fathers. And so again, the first one we seen last week was the introduction and what went down, and we also seen that they found out who Luke is, that he is Anakin Skywalker's son. If you brief history here, Anakin had to make some choices on Battle of Jabiim to leave, and so they basically left the population of Jabiim under scrutiny.
Technically, it wasn't his choice. He was forced to.
Right, that's what I mean.
Jedi Council, and then they got pissed at him, and he force choked one of them and buggered off.
I think it was Palpatine. Really, Palpatine's the one that says we need you to come back.
Yeah, it could have been. Yeah.
Yeah, and so he listened to Palpatine. And when you read the comic, it looks like he doesn't really want to go, but he has to follow his orders, right? He has to follow.
Yeah,
his orders.
He did not want to go.
Right, and
he had to leave some friends behind too.
Exactly. And so it's such a tragic. It's a great story, but it's very tragic. It's dark times because Battle of Jabiim basically was the worst battle that they lost.
Yeah, that whole comic series was pretty brutal.
Yes, it was. And I highly recommend it because if you want to see some dark times in the Clone Wars, that's one of them that, that was never, ever touched upon within like the Filoni Clone Wars or anything.
Oh, that was a happy slapstick time.
Yeah. They were happy running around fighting the Clone Wars and the Filoni's Clone Wars.
Anakin and Kenobi and Ahsoka won every battle single-handedly, pretty much.
Yeah, exactly. So let's get on with this. So now we are like a couple of decades later, or a decade and almost two decades later. And so we're getting into what's going on and how they're so upset about Luke Skywalker. And so we're going to go back in time to Battle of Jabiim. Jabiim, 21 years before the Battle of Yavin. And and like that, they were gone. The Republic abandoned us and never looked back. So that's what we're just talking about. And he goes, now what? Go on, go back to your Republic. We don't need you. So he's telling that to them.
Yeah, that beardy guy was the guy Anakin force choked.
Yeah, and I think we're going to get to that here in this one here. And at that time, in the moment, with all those emotions swirling, clear thought was impossible. And at the time, the planet is like a dreary, rainy, watery, rainforest kind of planet, I guess you can say. And so that's why you see the rain going on here. So Jabiim back then is different than it is that we see here in these comics because of mining and stuff by the Empire. There was no way to know then how badly Skywalker's action had truly hurt us. We keep fighting for our homes, for our families, but we beat the separatists back. So basically, back then, it was the separatists, right? And kick them off the planet. And then so we have the droids on the bottom here. So again, if you have not read the comic here, Battle Jabiim, I highly suggest you do that. Or how devastating our own choices afterwards would be. So there we go. So we didn't get the choke here, I don't think. But anyways, so now we are Jabiim Loyalist headquarters 7 months after the Battle of Yavin. So now we're in the future. You haven't left us with any choice, but I can't believe you didn't gather better intel before you invited them in, Nolan. So they're very upset because, again, Luke Skywalker's name is revealed. They hate Anakin Skywalker. They hate him with a passion. You're not helping, he tells them. At least get the full names of everyone in their party. So they're not very happy with this. And then so they go on. What am I supposed to do? If you let me in on your plan from the start, I'd have helped defuse this bomb before it blew up in our faces. So they're going back and forth. He's like, we're finally gaining ground against the nationalists, and our troops' morale is at an all-time high. And you potentially undo all of that progress by ripping open old wounds. I mean, Skywalker's kid, so they're upset about that. Of course, I know what are the odds. It'd be funny if it weren't such a disaster. So. So they're going back and forth with each other here. And again, they continue to argue about it. You're right, Hez, I think that's how you say that. For the first time in a generation, we have a real chance of taking our planet back. We're closer now than we've ever been. So back then it was the separatists and, the Republic called Anakin and, the troops back and left him to the separatists. And now that kind of merged into the Imperial rule now. And so they're mining the planet and stuff like that. So Jabiim has a long history of being overtaken by, the current government or whatever.
Oh, yeah. They've been screwed up. First by the, separatists and then the Republic and now the Empire.
Mm-hmm. And then he goes, losing a chance isn't what worries me. It's following through and winning this fight that's got me scared. What are you saying? You're not sabotaging and then, so he's questioning Nolan. No, of course not. You know where my loyalty lies, how dedicated I am to liberating Jabiim. But we've been chasing that goal for so long, it's given us tunnel vision. So he's recognizing this tunnel vision because it's went from one generation to another, right? And so the future generation is picking up from the liberating Jabiim, and as you can tell, this planet has never been in its own control for a few generations, and so it's kind of devastating in a sense. It's really tragic. Jabiim arc is full of tragedy. All these years we've spent fighting the nationalist government, never thinking about all the offers of aid we've refused and potential allies we've alienated. So other planets, aid's been offered by other sectors, other planets, and they said no. Because they wanted to be in isolation. They wanted to take care of their own fight on their own. And Nolan has learned that it has gotten them nowhere. And that's why he made out the call to the New Republic. And that's why Leia and, Luke Skywalker and them are there, because he decided that I'm going to take the chance and ask for help. So there we go. So we keep fighting, and eventually we regain control. Then what? We declare Jabiim a sovereign system in the hostile galaxy. And then he goes on, we can take the nationalists, but we won't stand a chance against the Empire. We side with the Alliance now. And then so he gets interrupted here. I can't sign on this, Nolan. Maybe you're right. Maybe we have made some missteps, but we fought too long and too hard to throw it all away.
It has a little bit of parallels to the truce at Bakura.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, because they're kind of almost Imperial occupied, right? They're pro-Empire,
right? At Bakura.
Yeah, and then they have to trust the rebels.
Right, and that's just right after Endor too. So yeah. And I think this is perfect because we see a lot of struggle with these systems and these planets because they're tired of Imperial rule, or they're tired of their government being corrupted by the Empire. And, so we see this push and pull, and realizing that the Rebel Alliance can possibly help them, be a sovereign system or a sovereign planet and stuff like that, and break away from, the Imperial fist, I guess you can say. And it takes a huge step in it, and you don't know if they're going to win or not, and so that's why I get his questioning here. They don't know if they're going to win or not, like if they're ever going to win over the Empire. So it's a huge risk. It's a huge risk. Us as fans and stuff, we know what's going to happen eventually, but within the story, in this timeline, they don't know. So. Yeah.
And at this time, the rebels aren't winning. They destroy the Death Star, but that's pretty much it.
Right.
Other than that, they've been taking losses.
Right. And so let's go on with this. On the hope that things will be different with the Alliance than they were with the Republic. So now he's comparing the Alliance with basically the old Republic. You of all people should know that. That's why you should trust me, Nolan says. I've never led us astray, and I'm not about to. But if we want any shot at a future, we have to seize the opportunity that Senator Organa is giving us. And then Hez says, you're right. The rebels are giving us an opportunity. So they're realizing that, they're having their debate, which is good. I love seeing this. They're like questioning each other and, going back and forth, trying to make sense of this. Where should they be with their movement? All of that. And so Hez says, as far as the Empire's concerned, Jabiim is used up. And that's what I was just talking about earlier, is that it used to be like a rainforest type planet, a lot of rain, all of that. And now it's dry and barren because the Empire went and mined it, changed the environment through mining it and stuff. So they just went in like locust, used it up, and basically they won't need them anymore, right? It's habit that's keeping the emperor hanging onto us. Perhaps we can break that grip. Perhaps we can leverage the rebels and give the Empire what it wants. And then Nolan says, I asked Organa to come. We're not selling her out. That's not an option. Ooh, so he's asking to hand over the rebels. That's crazy.
Yeah, which was the opportunity he was talking about.
Mm-hmm. Right. Maybe siding with the Empire and handing over these rebels, like these leading rebels, will put them in the good again, right?
Mhm.
And we know how that happens, though. Even if you do that, you're not guaranteed that you're going to get in the plus with the Emperor or with Vader, right? So Nolan, it may be our only option. So they're debating back and forth of giving up the rebels right here. So let's move on. And so now we're above Jabiim. We have the starfighters here. We have the
Well,
X-Wing.
you missed the thing.
What thing?
Kid runs in and says it's Skywalker. They're gonna kill him.
Oh shit. Okay, where do we go? Oh, okay. Okay, yeah. So sorry about that. Yeah, so a kid runs in and basically says, they're asking what's going on here, and he goes, "It's Skywalker, sir. They're going to kill him." So yeah, so that is coming up. So we'll get to that here pretty quick. And then we're in the orbit above the planet. And so we have here, repeat Jabiim control. We're operating under clearance code KJ620. Negative. Your clearance is revoked. These orders are non-negotiable. So now they're telling them you need to leave. Just turn it off, Wedge. It's not like they have a fleet to send after us anyway, as long as we stay out of the range of their ground cannons. So that was Wedge, communicating. They're telling them, everything's been revoked. You don't have a reason to stay here anymore. And, of course, Wedge is like, I'm not going to follow with it. So they goes on to say the only thing they can throw at us is colorful language. Luke and Leia are in real trouble, Hobbie. How can we let this happen? I tried to tell you, letting them go down there alone was a bad idea. So they're debating back and forth. Wedge and Hobbie are debating back and forth. That doesn't do us any good now. We have to think this through. One of us could hightail it back to the fleet and bring reinforcements. So they're debating on what they should do now because of the fact that everything is now going to shits, basically. Yeah. And I really like this. I really like the art here. I've been really enjoying the art here. So what do you think, Stig?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can tell who they are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Unlike the ones we did earlier, which were really bad.
Mm-hmm. Right. And it says Michael Jolin says Stig should change his name for Jedi Stig Kenobi for a few weeks just to annoy them. Mm-hmm. There you go. Sending a virtual hug at Miss Martin Muses. Oh, I hope you're okay, Miss Martin Muses. And then RevKev is here, and he just celebrated his monetization last night or yesterday. So it was a nice stream. So you guys go support RevKev. Howdy, hope your day is going well. And I hope your day is going well as well. There we go. So let's get back to the comic here. Let's see here. Right there. All right. So Wedge says there's no time for that. By the time you got there and back, Leia and the others could be dead if they aren't already. And you realize that, and it's established, I'm pretty sure Raging Rhino has already seen as he's reading the new Jedi Order for the very first time. And they already established like hyperspace jumping is very, very critical. It's very dangerous. And that they also established like hyperspace basically would take 2 to 3 days or more, depending on where you're going. So that's all set in the lore here versus what Disney's doing with hyperspace now. So it's like you could just jump and be there anytime within minutes. We have the coordinates to the Starduster. Let's just swoop down and get them out of there. We've been in worse scraps than this. So they already know that shit's going down. It's too risky. We know where their ship is, not where they are. And remember what you said about steering clear of Jabiim's guns. And then he goes on to say, well, we can't just sit up here and then he says, wait, I'm picking up something on the scanner. So they're looking down at the scanner here. Wedge, old buddy. And so we are about to have company. So we have these TIE fighters come in. I thought you said they didn't have any ships. I think those ships belong to Jabiim nationalists, not the rebels. Do not engage them. We're in enough of a diplomatic disaster as it is. We don't want to make things worse by killing any Jabiim. So basically, like, stand down, don't engage, blah, blah, blah. Well, we'll outrun them and try to come up with better rescue plan. So there we go. So they're fight up in the atmosphere, up in above the planet, and we have Leia and them taken prisoner down below. And so here we go. And hope that Leia and the others can hold out till we do. So here we go. So they are taking them as prisoners, I guess you can say. And Leia saying, this is a misunderstanding. We're all allies. If we can all just settle down and talk this through, I'm sure it can be sorted out. And then he says, we're way past that now. Talking's what got you in this mess to begin with. And so, they're having a back and forth. The way I see it, you keep talking and it's only going to get you in deeper. And so Leia's not too happy about that, as you can tell by her face. And you just sit tight until we figure out what to do with you. Loosen, I guess that's how you say it. Here we'll keep you company. Don't even think of trying anything funny with him. And then he goes on to say, I've watched him take down a squad of Imperial commandos with nothing more than the butt of an empty blaster rifle. And he says, trust me, we won't break a sweat with you. And then so Alucin says, wasn't even my blaster. So, and then she goes on to say with her face, Leia's not too happy here. And she's, holding her ground here. You can't keep us locked up forever, she tells him. So we have them here, being captives now. And then he says, you'd rather I turn you over to the boys? Trust me, Lucin's job isn't just to keep you here. It's to keep the others out. Now you think about that. So there we go. So Leia's like over here. She's like, what the hell's going on? Her face, shares that expression here. So, and then I'm surprised I'm not being asked to zoom in.
No,
not today.
It's not good enough, that picture.
It's not good enough?
Yeah, it's the wrong angle.
It's the wrong angle. What is the right angle then?
From behind.
It's a side profile. It's a side behind kind of profile.
Well.
Okay. All right. That's fine. Okay. So he goes
on. You can blame Soul Assassin.
I can blame.
It's not good enough for him. That's the thing.
Soul Assassin, is that true? Is that true, Soul Assassin? All right. So Lucen says your name's Soul, right? What kind of ordnance do you what kind of ordnance you trained for? And then he says, what? Ordnance weapons. Most of our gear is outdated, secondhand Republic issue. Whatever we can cobble together. I've heard you rebels have some state of the art. So he's asking Soul basically what kind of weapons they have and stuff. So he's really intrigued about that because they have outdated stuff. I really couldn't tell you specifics. I'm not much of a soldier. No kidding. So if you can't fire a blaster, what good are you? He's like, actually, I'm a mathematician. Right now, I'm running the algorithms for our fleet's navigation computers to make sure. And he's like, So he walks away from him. So, all right. And he's like left confused. He's like, okay, whatever.
Well, there you can zoom in. See?
Huh? Right here? Right. That's the side profile too.
Yeah, but it's a better side profile. And Soul Assassin likes it a lot better.
No, he does, doesn't he? So there you go.
There you go.
Yep.
That's the ass end of the galaxy.
That's the ass end of the galaxy. Oh my goodness. So yeah, we have them being captive now. This isn't all how I pictured this going. And then she talks to Leia. That makes two of us, though I'm not about to sit here like the good little POW waiting for a rescue. You and I can handle tall, dark, and dim over there. But once we're outside of this room, it gets trickier. So they're planning their escape here, so, and, that's kind of expected, they are not rebels for nothing, right? So we didn't exactly line up for a fiercest or most capable away party. And without Luke here to back us up, I'm not wild about our chances. So she tells that. I'm not either. So the only ones not in captivity are 3PO and R2. So they're back at the ships right here. So.
Yeah, Soul Assassin and some others are asking about Lady Toriel in the chat. And
okay.
Well, she swung by in this chat. It's at the top. So she's been there today.
Yeah, she might be listening in as well. So, yeah.
Oh.
Yep. So, let's see here. Show, what's this? Okay. All right. Yeah, so she's doing okay, right? And then all right. So, let's go on. And so they're planning their escape and everything. And then bam. So we have Luke Skywalker here. They're beating the shit out of them. They're taking revenge from what his father did. So look at that.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure Luke has the same luxury. And so they're really just hammering into them. Look at that. Because of what his father did in the past. These guys are holding a 21-year grudge from one generation to the other.
Against a 20-year-old.
Right. And they're like, grab him. And so they're really hammering into him. He's taking a blow here, getting kicked in the back, choked out, all that. He goes, oh, hang on, mate. Don't pass out yet. We're only getting started. And then let's try that again. Let's not. And so Nolan comes in and stops them from beating the shit out of Luke. And we know that Luke is still green. He's still learning about the Force. He's still learning about fighting, all of that. So he's not like how we see him, post or even in Return of the Jedi and after, so he's not as developed character.
Yeah, even, if he doesn't have the Force or a lightsaber, he's not really Mike Tyson, is he?
No, he's not. Mm-mm. And so this is where it gets crazy here, because like I said, if you're aware of Battle of Jabiim, you understand why these guys are, taking out the revenge, because they didn't have a chance to do that against Anakin, right? And they have no idea that Vader is Anakin, right? So they have no idea. Basically, nobody does, with only exception of very, very, very few. Yeah, so they're really taking out their frustrations, everything from what they thought Anakin did to them. Because they thought Anakin did everything on purpose. They didn't understand that he was being called away and stuff. So, but then force choking someone too, that's not very cool either, right? So, and then so Nolan goes on and says, this is how we're treating our prisoners now. You should all be court-martialed, basically. Well, I can't even read today. And basically go on, you Triggs, you should know better. I want payback for what his father did to us. So there we go. My father died of a broken heart. He died the day that punk Jedi left us to rot. So they're all saying this to Luke. Luke's like, I don't, like he's trying to put everything together. He didn't really know his father that well to even know exactly what happened, even at Jabiim, right? So this is all.
Yeah, he has no clue.
Right.
At this point, Luke doesn't know that that Anakin is Vader either.
Right. So he has no idea about that either. And he has no clue about his father's history other than a few things that were twisted by, his uncle Owens and them, so. but he doesn't know exactly what happened. I don't know what to believe anymore, Luke says to Nolan. Growing up, I never knew either of my parents. My aunt and uncle told me about them, gave me a sense of what kind of people they were. I felt a connection through those stories in a small way. I could relate to them. So he's being truthful here. He's like, I didn't know, exactly, blah, 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 blah. And then he goes on to say, then a few months ago, I found out that most of these stories weren't even true, that my father was a greater man than I ever imagined. And in their own strange way, that my aunt and uncle were protecting me from his legacy or some of their or from the pressure of living up to it. So basically he's coming to conclusions here. Like he had such a huge legacy and there's a lot of things that he did that they were protecting him from it. I guess
he's dead wrong, but
right.
That's not what they're hiding.
Right. And this is just what he's making sense of, right?
I know. It's just, good to see the main characters being dead wrong sometimes.
Right. Yeah. Because, he didn't get it right. And he's trying to make sense of everything that's been told to him. And again, he doesn't know who, he doesn't know Vader is his father. He doesn't know Vader is Anakin. So it's just, and I love how this evolves because we have this here of him trying to make some sense out of everything and him being wrong. But now with all I've been told since I've been here, did my father really behead Jabiim children? And then Nolan goes on, no, Luke, he didn't, as I'm sure he didn't do most of the other things you've probably heard. Unfortunately, the years haven't been kind to Anakin's legend. Stories have been passed down, their details distorted and exaggerated with each telling. That's very interesting because the Empire themselves, erase a lot of Anakin's records as well, and a lot of stuff that happened during the Clone Wars too. Your father was many things, not all of them flattering. His sins left a lasting scar on my people. And then he goes on to talk with Luke. It's ironic, despite the turmoil and anguish that Anakin left behind, his betrayal was what united the Jabiim and helped them fight on. Our hatred of him fueled our desire for independence, but that eventually grew into distrust of all outsiders. So that's freaking tragic right there. That's a lot to take in. It's a flawed foundation. I've watched that hatred, distrust, and nihilism spread through the Jabiim like a poison. I watched it destroy my own father. So this is why this is called In the Shadows of Their Fathers. It's, these two right here. The past is a dangerous thing if you don't know when to let go of it. What really happened that day, Luke asks him. The basics? Jabiim was under siege by the separatists. The Republic decided we were worth fighting for, built us up and gave us hope, then changed its mind and left us to die. That's in short right there.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Right. That's in short right there. Anakin was the one who sounded the retreat. He was ordered to, and see, he didn't understand that he was ordered, and Anakin didn't really want to leave him either. Anakin never wanted to leave anybody. If you know his history back then in the Clone Wars and reading throughout the comics and stuff, he didn't want to leave anybody. He wanted to fight. He wanted to help. And so that's why this arc is so tragic when it comes to Anakin, because he really didn't want to leave, but he took the orders anyway. So I don't know if he made the call on his own or was pressured by powers greater than himself. But once his course was set, there was no swaying him. More than anything, it was that resolution that we came to resent. The truth is, Anakin was just a kid about your age, in fact. That's right. He was about the same age.
Yeah.
That's crazy. If he'd been, and he was only a Padawan still, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So he's only a Padawan. took orders from Palpatine to leave. He didn't like him, but because Palpatine had that influence and that pull on him, he took the orders. And then plus Palpatine basically was, basically the chancellor too, so if he'd been older, wiser, would things have gone differently? I don't know. And then Luke says, well, you said yourself he was young. You can't blame him for everything. So yeah, so that's a lot to take in for Luke. He just got the shit beat out of him, and now he's getting a history lesson about his father. Everything was about his father. You got the shit beat out of him because of his father's legacy, and now he's learning more about his father right here. Don't let yourself be dragged into this, Nolan tells Luke. What happened that day has ruined too many lives already. Like it or not, my friends and I are now involved. So basically he tells that to him. And then bringing you here was a gamble. I waged my credibility and my soldiers' respects against the hope that together we can make a difference. I took a chance and I lost. You and your companions shouldn't have to pay the price for that. So he's realizing, basically that he made a risk. He made a big jump, a leap of faith, and it kind of backfired on him in a sense. Come with me. I'll set you all free and get you back to your ships. And then he asked Nolan, what about you, though? I don't want you to. And then something goes off right there. And then it's a surface attack. He's like, surface attack. So they have an attack going on. They run to see what's going on. Stay close to me, Luke. Soames, what's happening? So basically he says, it's the nationalists, sir. They tricked our scanners, disabled our perimeters. I don't know how, but they found us. And he's all troops. And so now they're getting ready to battle. Prepare for ground assault. So we have the ATs, all the troops and everybody coming in. This is basically, they're backed by the Empire. Look at that.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. So now they're getting ready to circle. So I'm going to check the chat real quick, see what's going on. I don't think I missed any super chats. Let me see here. Just a kid with good instincts and very good aim.
Yeah, he's talking about Luke.
Right. And Soul Assassin, the Empire made up a lot of propaganda against the Jedi to make them look bad. And I believe they said Anakin died during Order 66. Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, and Palpatine started right off the bat. He says that they attempted to kill him and left his face scarred and all that.
Mm-hmm. Right. Anakin, and then Michael says Anakin should have joined Callista and the other Jedis. And let's see here. They were the Jedi he needed to be. And then Rev Kev, I just most Star Wars are around how well they can draw stormtroopers. This one does a good job. So he's like in the stormtrooper one. Let me go back to that. Let's see here. Let me go back.
He's right. The stormtroopers look great.
Yeah, look at that. Hi, kitty. My cat's like, let me join you on live stream here. All right. So this is really good. I like the penciling in here. I like the coloring in here. It's not one of the better ones that I've seen, but I like this. So I really like this. It's worth the look at. The coloring, everything is worth, is really good. So now they're all circling up. Now they have to fight, right? So he's telling Luke, grab a blaster. And I wish I had time to finish, find my lightsaber. So he's wishing for his lightsaber. They're going for our power generators. Make sure they don't succeed. Trig, you and your men are with me. We'll meet those nationalist scumbags head on. Everyone else, bolsters and flanks. You just make sure you stay out of the line of fire, Skywalker. So they're still threatening him, like, we're going to shoot you if you cross us. And look at Luke's face, is like looking at him like, you son of a bitch. That's what his face looks like. You son of a bitch. Here they come. So they basically, they're getting attacked here. And then so we have that going on here. And again, here's the stormtroopers right here. Look at that. For you, Rev Kev, for you. So, and then, so basically we have action going on, and it says we can't shake them. We have to stand and fight. So, and then now we're above Jabiim, and we have the X-Wings here, now in battle. diplomacy be damned. If we don't do anything soon, we're gonna get blasted, Wedge. And then he goes on to say, there's a large concentration of space debris up ahead. We can lose them there. So now they're trying to not fully engage because they don't want any more problems, because they don't know what's going on the surface with, Luke and Leia and everybody. You're always telling me you're the best pilot in the Rogue Squadron, Hobbie. Prove it. So now he's calling Hobbie out, right? And at least it can't be any worse. And then he's like, oh no. So, and then we get a Star Destroyer coming in. Look at that. So that looks pretty cool. And then he goes on to say, and those are slave ships. This is bad. This is the Empire planning to enslave the entire planet? You want to stick around long enough to find out? He replies back, we're getting Leia and the others out of there now. And then so that's the end of part 2 right there. So what'd you think about that, Stig?
Yeah, pretty good. All in all, very, very story-based comic this time.
Yeah, right. There's a lot to tell in this because it's going back in time and related to the future of Jabiim, all of that. It's very, very good. Let's see here. And then Phil says, essentially, Anakin's legacy has been saved to a certain extent. I mean, no one knew Anakin was under the Vader suit, so helps to make people think that Vader and Anakin were 2 different people. And then I think eventually once the story started getting out, or once it started getting out that, Luke and Leia are the kids to Anakin Skywalker, or to Vader, that people started realizing and relating to that. I think I'm pretty sure, was it Dark Fleet that they questioned Leia a little bit for being the daughter to Vader / Anakin. It's a little bit in that story, but it's not like they just abandoned her like you see in the Disney trilogy. So, so I think that storyline was a lot better. Let's see here. And then we have Robert DeCosta. None of those ships' drawings are traced or stolen from fan designs, by the way. Yeah, you got that right. So, yeah. So those in the chat, what do you think about that? Have you guys read Battle of Jabiim? Do you guys know the story, or is this the first time hearing about it? So let me know. Let me know. So, and then we have the cover here of part 3 here. It's okay. It's okay. I like the Leia cover better than the Luke one right here. So let's see here. And then we have Phil. Yeah, eventually they found out that Leia is Vader's daughter, which is a little bit before the sequel trilogy. I'm talking about, I was talking about in George Lucas era of Star Wars. I think it was shortly after Heir to the Empire, or the Thrawn trilogy, is when they found out. Then they questioned her, but they didn't abandon her. In the Disney trilogy, it was like in Bloodlines novel, I believe, that they in that time frame that they found out, and they basically turned on her, which I never felt it was a good storyline at all. So, and let's see here. Never heard of it. Is it Dark Horse Comics? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And so I think I'll do that. I think sometime in October, I'll put everything on PDF, go through there, save everything on PDF, and make a PDF file of that, and find a way to share it with everybody. But we'll see. We'll see. Yes. So you have anything else you want to add before we move on, Steve?
No, it's a great follow-up to the Jabiim story, like you said. It's it's good that they did that.
Right. It's phenomenal. I think it's phenomenal because they connected it so well, and they gave Luke an arc of self-discovery of who Anakin is, and of himself as well, and him doubting everything, because we get to a point like after Yavin that Luke is starting to like question who he is and why is he so significant and stuff like that. But the thing is that he stayed on that journey, and he stayed focused, and he didn't run away. you know, he could have left and said, I don't want none of this shit, right? But he stayed with the mission. He stayed with the cause. He had purpose. He had hope, you know, and he wanted the same things as Leia and them, you know, a free galaxy, you know. So let's see here. And oh yeah, in the Disney canon, I believe they found out in Bloodlines. I haven't read the Disney Star Wars books. Disney canon is just an over-budgeted fan theory, excuse me, of Star Wars, in my opinion. Yeah, I did read through some of Bloodlines. I don't like the storyline whatsoever. I don't like how they treated Han and Leia's relationship, and how they made the galaxy turn on her just so that she can do the resistance, the mock off of the rebellion. All of that, I don't like it. I don't like the story arc whatsoever. I think they did Leia a disservice in that. You know, even for those people of Alderaan to turn on her, you know, after finding out that she's just a adopted kid of Bail Organa and stuff like that, you know. So even Alderaanians turned on her, which I think is very sad. So I don't like that story. All right, so let's move on here. So I hope you guys are enjoying this. This is such a deep story here. I've been excited to share this with you guys since reading Jabiim and the Battle of Jabiim. And so we're going to move on. This is part 3 of In the Shadows of Their Fathers. Now, this cover, I don't care too much for it. Like his expressions, I don't care that much for it. They have a little bit of contrasting colors here with greens and like reds and stuff, kind of to give you a focus, a visual focus on, you know, what's going on in the scene. So there we go. So Jabiim, 20 years before the Battle of Yavin. So 21 years, excuse me. You know, I'm still dealing with sinuses. I'm sorry, you guys. So now we're going back in time. The enemies in Hyper Canyon, that's what it says, is in Hyper Canyon. There's no only one way in or out. It boxes them in, but it also gives us a fewer angles to hit them from. So, you know, the enemies are in a place where they can get at them, but not as easily. That's why we're counting on precision rather than force numbers. And Nuob, I think that's what it says. Dunab. You and your men will create a divisionary strike while Nolan and I lead as assault team on their command center. So there we go. And we topple their control mainframe. Will bring down every droid from here to the Jabrith plains. So they're planning on making their attack here. The Seps think backing themselves up in a box canyon can gives them an advantage. Will prove those short circuiting cycles wrong. So basically, they're taking their stance here. And now they're back outside again. Like I said, as a planet of rain. You think we should wait? Give those droids time to settle in. Every moment hesitant brings Grievous that much closer to our homes and our families. Is that what you want? So, you know, Grievous too. So Grievous is in the story too, in a sense. They just know about him. I just want us to think before we go charging in. And so he says, we've been pushing the men so hard these last weeks. I don't know if they can take another setback. I don't know if I can. The Kuwati have offered their military support. We should listen to what they. And so we have the Kuwati back then trying to help out as well. We don't need their help. So again, turning down help. And that's what the future generations have done since then, is turn down help from other planets and systems. Or their ulterior motives. We'll win this on our own. And he's like, sir. And then something comes from coming from the north. It may be Nationalist Tank Battalion. Will that make things interesting? doesn't it? So basically they're seeing a lot of things happening here. They're he looks up here. So basically that was my father stubborn to the end. So basically no one's talking about his father, who basically is named Nolan as well, I believe. That's what I got. And that his father is very stubborn, and he just wants to do everything on their own without any help. All too willing to lead his men into hell. His men all too willing to follow. When I was younger, I swore I'd never make the same mistakes. So he's looking back, and he doesn't want to make the mistakes of the father, of his father, and so they're both, him and Luke, Nolan and Luke, are basically seeing the results of their fathers, on Jabiim. And yet I can't help walking the path that fate's given me, following in my father's footsteps. And then, he's like, fall back, hoping they won't lead to his to the same end, his same end. A father he never knew. So it's a dilemma compounded by the recent appearance of a younger man standing in his own father's shadow, a father he never knew, a legacy he's given his all to live up to. So they're talking about Luke here right now. So they're fighting right here.
And it's kind of a good message in a sense, with two sons uniting, fighting evil, after kind of coming to terms with the sins of their fathers, right? So instead of it being like a split, from there on out, it comes together instead. Right.
And they feel like because they are, the sons of these men, they feel like their destiny is like the same as their father's, which is not true. So let's see here. As I resist my destiny, he embraces his. And even learning that his father isn't all that he thought he was, Skywalker still strives to make a dead man proud. That's crazy, isn't that? And so basically someone says, Triggs, we have to get Skywalker and the others out of here. The princess and the other rebels are on the lower levels. And then they go on to say, break for the service lifts. I'll cover your exit and meet you down there. You heard him. Let's go. And Luke says, but, and you can see like he's getting fire from all over. It's not up to you. And then so basically, I'm guessing this is what Nolan's thinking. What's wrong with me? So they're under heavy fire, near being shot. Of course, we know that, nothing really can happen to Luke. How did the Empire know we were here? Not everything is about you. Luke never said that either. So I thought that was funny. Or maybe it is. The nationalists have been trying to find our base for months. Either they got so lucky or someone sold us out.
Yeah, we already know who did that.
Right. And he's all, you don't think that chip on your shoulder, clouding your brain, why would we give you up? So he kind of gets in his face about this. To get yourselves in good with the nationalists, to get a piece of our mining profits to help fund your galactic insurrection. So that's what he tells Luke. It's all starting to make sense. The invasion happening within a day of your arrival isn't a coincidence. Now hold on, Luke says. And then we get someone saying, get that lift moving. So, they want to get out of there, of course. So they're suspecting Luke and the rebellion, like laying them, just coming in to take control so they can take control of the mining, so, which isn't what's going on. And he's like, go. And then so get on the lift now. And then he goes on to say, yeah, but there are more stormies coming and this car won't carry you away fast enough. Wow, he's got a scar across his face. What are you doing, Triggs? It's staying. So, they want, they're going through this huge fight here. They're sending Luke. It looks like they're sending Luke in the lift, right?
Yeah, sends him down, and the other guy is just, making a last stand.
Right. And then so Luke looks at him, like, but you'll, and then he says, good luck. I'm not doing this for you. And they're like, down here. And then he says, good luck, Nolan. So he's making the last stands so that they can escape. So he's given his life. And 3 levels below, we have Leia, and I forgot her name again. I'm sorry, but yeah, you're right. She's been in the X-Wing novels or comics, I mean.
Yeah, but so far, I don't think they've even said her name in
right.
the comic, which is bad.
Mm-hmm.
Because if there's a new reader,
yeah,
they won't know who the heck that is, or
right,
where she used, where she's coming from in the comic.
Yeah, and I am like new to the comic, so I wouldn't know who she is, really.
I keep forgetting her name.
Yeah, I think she's pretty. I like her. I really do. So that's it. We're leaving. So they're facing the bombardment. The buildings going down. All of that. You see them trying to get out of there. All of that. Hey, Lucerne, you still think we're safer in here? I'm not supposed to let you out of my sight, he tells him. Then you'd better stay close as Leia and them run away. Hold it right there, and so they're like, no, we're going to get out of here. So they run for safety. They try to get out of there. And then she says, now what, Leia? Do we try to find Luke or head for an exit? And then he goes on, I told you not to. And they're like not even listening to him. And then he gets shot in the back. So it was by stormtroopers. At first, when I first read it, I thought it was Soul right here, the guy that's peeking through the door. And then I realized it's the stormtroopers right here. Halt, you're under arrest. And
should have said that before they shot him. He might have halted.
Right. He's like shot him first. He's like, I'll shoot first, then take names, right?
Yeah, look, strong female character shoots at the stormtroopers like a big damn hero.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
Yeah, and didn't exist before 2015, but oddly enough, there it is. It's like archaeology. You find something that contradicts it.
Right. And it's like we're sifting through the rubbles of Star Wars and finding evidence.
Oh, look, a Viking settlement in Canada. Predating Columbus. Turns out someone was there first.
Besides the natives.
Yep.
All right. So let's see here. And so she looks back, someone says Senator Organa, and then she's questioning. And look at these right here. They took some shots. And then you're alive. Yeah, but we're almost dead. I thought that was stupid. Sorry, that's just me. And then Hez, isn't it? You should know better than to sneak up on a girl with a blaster. Well, she's got a point.
That rebel lady, though, is such a poser. She's showing off her ass for the readers again.
Oh, right here. You want me to zoom in for you?
No, you can zoom in for Soul Assassin, though.
Okay, Soul Assassin, since Stig said.
Yeah, because that's not a natural way to stand.
Mm-hmm. And I skipped forward a lot. Fucking hell. Just for that. Okay. I have a new mouse. I just haven't plugged it in yet. So I'll do that. I should have done it already. So there you go.
That's a weird way to stand, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like she's arching her butt back.
Yeah.
Like Leia's kind of doing it there too.
Yeah, well, she's leaning against the pipe, I think.
Yeah, you just don't see the pipe there. Huh.
Yeah, but the other one is just... And what's her hands doing?
I don't know. I don't know. All right, so let's go on here. And then he goes, my apologies, Captain. Look, I was sent to get you out of here. So he's leading them out. Where's Luke? Leia says or asks. And he says safe. He's with Nolan. We've arranged a rendezvous in the outlying hills. We liberated some Imperial speeders. They're parked out back. So there you go. So they have a plan. So they run in the back and you could see everything's on fire, battle's going on. If we can't get to them, we'll be safe, basically, he says. You should ride with me, Senator. It'll be the safest. And
Dantles.
She's like, oh, no.
That's her name. The other one.
Oh, okay. What's her name again?
Dantles.
Okay. Awesome. All right. And let's go on here. So, and then Leia goes, thanks, but I'll drive you. Take Joran and lead the way. So she's like, I'm going to operate this myself. And even though we know that she's Anakin's daughter, whatever, she doesn't know yet and stuff, but she may not be the better out of the pilots, out of the Skywalkers, but she can hold her own still.
Yeah, she's not a good pilot, really, because she crashes the swoop bike in Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, well, yeah, kind of. And then, we did see her wreck how many Star or X-Wings a while back?
Yeah, like I said, women drivers.
No, that's not true.
Even the Skywalker blood can't fix it. Even the Skywalker blood can't fix it.
Whatever. She's a great pilot still. She's not the best, though, out of the family. And then Dan tells, and I will act as a rear guard. And then, so he's going to stay behind and watch them drive. He's going to stay behind and watch their rear. Whatever you say, Senator, they say so, basically. So now we're in the orbit above. Hobbie, can we can't let those Imperial slave ships land. So I'm guessing that's Wedge. We can't stop them, Wedge, but we can outrun them. Keep your foil closed. We're going in fast. We'll get Leia and the others out of there before the Empire touches down. And so they get ready for their mission. Go ahead.
That's actually also in the X-Wing games.
Mm-hmm.
The old X-Wings space simulators, really. If you put the X-Foils, down,
yeah,
like they're doing, you get more speed.
Oh, okay. So true to canon then, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Because when they open,
power
gets diverted to the cannons. More power gets diverted to the cannons.
Yeah, and then also too, they have more traction because they have more because of the wings being out in the X part and the S foils open. It causes more friction and traction too. I guess you can say, if you say that's in space.
Well, only in an atmosphere with gravity, because there's no gravity in space, so it wouldn't matter. But it has to do with the power.
Yeah. I agree. And then so they get ready and he says, we must really be in a bad spot up here. Copy that. Suicide mission isn't the right term. So they're getting ready to engage, but it's the only one that comes to mind. So there we go. So we have this here. Hobbie, you have 2 live ones on you, on your tail. They're 2, and then so I guess he cusses or whatever, because it's like, or whatever that is. They're 2, and you have that sound effect going on there. And then now we go back to the surface here. Looks like they put up a fight. Oh, Lucin. And then so they see what happens with the stormtroopers. They were taken out. The imps finally brought you down, didn't they? So he sees his buddy. His buddy's dead. The blaster scoring on these walls are fresh. We just missed your friends, but where did they go from here? So they're trying to figure it out. And then he's like, Nolan. And so now we have more.
Though, how did they not notice the stormtroopers until it was that close?
Right, because they would have made sound when they walked in, right?
Yeah, it's not like their boots are silent. It's metal on rubber, right. on rubble. So.
Yeah. There we go. And then so now we're going back outside and they're trying to make their way to the ship. And so they have the speeders here. Why'd we stop? Have a look. And so look at that. We have a landmine going on here. It's a minefield, Your Highness, a dead end. And they're like, yipes. Hear that? Imperials are on their tail. We're trapped. And Leia looks determined right here.
Yeah.
She does. She looks determined here. What are you doing? You can't go back. I'm not going back. Count to 10, then follow us full throttle. You're going through the minefield. 10 seconds has. So yes, we seen her face. She's like, I'm going to do this. And they're questioning her, and so she leads them through the minefield. She goes through and lets them detonate, and then they follow through. So that's what she does. So she's determined. Look at her face. And people accuse me of taking crazy risks. Do you see them? How far behind are they? They're not coming. So so they got Soul and they have Hez right there. That's what it looks like. The Imperials have them. They're not. There's nothing we can do for them, Leia. With the beating that our speeders took back there, we'll be lucky if we can make it to the Star Duster ourselves. So there we go. So now Hez and Soul are taken captive by the imps. We'll have to risk signaling the droids and hope the Empire's not listening. And then she calls 3PO. 3PO, do you copy? So there we go. And then so we have C-3PO here. Listen, 3PO, we need you to access the Starduster's tracking system. I'm afraid that might be problematic, he says. They're going under fire as well. So here we go. So like everybody's getting attacked at all ends here. So, and let's see here. When we didn't hear from you for so long, R2 feared the worst and insisted we go to your rescue. And as usual, the manufacturing little twerp led us straight to our doom. So R2 is like, let's go find them. Because, R2 that's just R2, right? So what do you think about that, Stig?
Yeah, it's they're under fire, heavily so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see here. And then Soul Assassin, you would notice a bunch of dudes in white armor coming at you, right? And then Dad Man walking. Hello, how are you doing? And thank you for joining us. So hopefully you have read Battle Jabiim. This is Luke's arc with that storyline, I guess you can say. Very good storyline. Excuse me. And then Kellum Cannon says, I love the droids. Yes, they're fun. They're fun. All right. So then Leia says, we're on our own then. And then worse, we have to save the droids too. We'll make for the Star Duster. So it's up to them. It's up to the ladies to help these guys out because we have Nolan and Luke taken prisoner. We have Hez and Soul taken prisoner. The droids are under fire. And so and then Wedge and them up in atmosphere, up above Jabiim are under attack as well. So here we go. And hope things don't get any worse in the meantime. And so Nolan says, don't worry, they'll take us to the regional governor. The only loyalty these guys have is to their credit accounts. That's very interesting. We make a sizable enough donation to their coffers and they'll forget that they ever saw us. Oh, interesting. Not this time, Nolan. And then so we see who this is. I came for you specifically. And then he's all Thorn? But your assassins failed Nolan again. So I guess he sent assassins to kill Thorn, and he's not dead. Obviously, failures become a common thread in your life, hasn't it? Ooh, that stung. And the massacre at the High Rock Canyon, losing half of your forces to the virus we engineered. Your father. How did you find us? He asks him. Imperial intelligence. Seems it's not the oxymoron we've always thought it was. We know the location of every loyalist cell and stronghold on Jabiim, and right now the nationalist army is raiding and destroying each and every one of them, just as we did to this one. Your insurgency has run its course, Nolan. It's over. And then so Nolan, charges at him. You're wrong. You can kill me, but you cannot destroy the Jabiim's will to be free. And then Thorn tells him, skip the speech. We already have the antidote to your poisonous rhetoric. The Empire's leaving Jabiim. And then so Nolan's like, what are you saying? And Thorn says, we've ended their occupation and we did it without firing a shot, simply by doing what you never thought to. We made them a deal. Full mining rights will revert back to the local protectorates in exchange for two things. So he kind of seems like he sold out his planet. And now we get back to Leia and them. First, so we see Leia and them speeding back to their ship. First, we allow them to take the majority of Jabiim's workforce off-world to work Imperial mines and installations around the galaxy. So that's why there's slave ships above Jabiim. Because they're taking people to go mine. He sold out his people. That's freaking crazy. He sold out his people. Wow. And this is such an awesome picture right here of the ship right here landing. Look at that. And you see the TIE fighters all with it and everything like that. And they're zooming along. So they're surprised. This isn't happening, so she realizes it's a slave ship. She had no idea that the slave ships were up there orbiting around Jabiim. Second, we hand over the rebel leaders your sheltering. So basically they made some deals. And you know what the best part of all this is? And then he asked, what's this? You said you'd deliver Senator Organa. And then he goes on to say, what are we supposed to do with him? So they have this guy here. They have Soul, I guess that's his name. Relax. His friends will come back for him. You'll have them then. So they're going to use him as baits, basically. That last bit was orchestrated by one of your own. We trusted you. So there we go. So we see a lot of cross. They're crossing each other. So, and then sorry, Joran. So he gets shot, it looks like. And
it just points the gun at him.
Yeah.
Probably didn't shoot him, or they would have ended it with him shooting him.
Right.
That's just trickery. They want us to think, oh no, he's going to kill him.
Right.
Read the next comic and find out.
Right. So this is 2 and 3 in the shadows of their fathers. And it's been a really fun experience to read through this with you guys as well. And so tell us a little bit more. What do you think about this last 2 comics right here, Stig?
It's very plot heavy, very story driven.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have the very basic plots that a lot of the Star Wars comics has.
Yeah.
So yeah, it stands out, same as the Battle of Jabiim, and pure quality. And like Dadman Walking said in the chat, it feels like real Star Wars, because it is real Star Wars.
Yeah. So you could get this feeling that it's Star Wars, but it's not Star Wars, So just because, I wish I can remember what Tim said on his live stream about that. When people say, oh, it feels like Star Wars, so it has to be Star Wars. Not really. So, and let's see here. Soul Assassin, Jabiim can't get a break, right? So we have the past and present going on here. But once we get into 4 and 5, you'll find out, there's a nice conclusion to it. But it really is a great arc for Luke and even Leia in this, because we get to see, him doubting who he is. We get to see questioning, who his father is, and then, getting it wrong, and he's still trying to put the puzzle pieces together. And that's a good, story arc for Luke, because he's not going to know everything, and he's going to take things out of context, and then learning from some of the stuff that he heard from his aunt and uncle, and they were protecting him, right? But learning from what they said about his father versus what he's learning about his father now, that's going to leave some confusion. It's going to, he's going to come to and make wrong conclusions and stuff like that. So I think that's a really great arc for him. Robert DeCosta, it's almost like these comics expand the universe from the movies, right? And then, so what do you think about Leia in this so far, Stig?
Pretty kick-ass.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
She kicks way more ass than Luke in this.
Right. He got his ass kicked. So what do you think about that, Stig? With seeing Luke get his ass kicked like that?
It shows that he's not a Mary Sue,
right?
Like Disney sequels defenders keep saying. Luke actually gets beaten up a lot, even in the old trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
He's the one that takes the brunt of the damage.
Right. Right. And then, so those in the chat, what do you guys think about seeing Luke get the shit kicked out of him, basically? Because that's what that was. They friggin' took vengeance for what his father did, and everybody's like seeing the story in their own image, their own light, of what really happened. Like if you read the Battle of Jabiim, we knew Anakin really didn't want to leave, but he took the orders anyways. And in the heat of the moment, he ended up force choking Nolan's father. And because it was such a heated situation. And I think the storyline for Battle of Jabiim really gave us a great perspective of what was going on during that time. And so we got to see, the consequences of having to be called out of battle and letting the planet go and lose to the separatists, and stuff like that. Jabiim was such a tragic loss, and they even talk about that afterwards and how bad the Jabiim battle was. That's like a thorn in their butts. It's like a thorn in them because it was so bad. So
Yeah.
And then Soul Assassin says Luke is the galactic punching bag.
Yeah, I mean, he gets beaten up by a Tusken Raider. Almost gets killed at the cantina.
Yeah.
He almost gets killed at the in the trash compactor. Almost gets killed several times during the Death Star run. It was like 4 or 5 times during the first movie alone.
Right.
I mean, he's constantly being saved. I mean, the second one starts with him being beaten the shit out of by a Wampa, and then he almost freezes to death.
Yeah, because he had to get rescued because he almost freezes to death. I mean, if Han wasn't that dedicated to, his friends and stuff, Luke would have died.
Yeah, and then he crashes on Dagobah. Needs saving from Yoda technically because the X-wing needs lifting out of the swamp. He fails at the cave,
right?
Which is actually the most crucial part in the trilogy. That cave scene, due to what happens in Return of the Jedi when he figures out why he failed. Right. He gets his hand chopped off after getting trashed by Vader.
Right.
And then he needs saving again by Leia when he's dangling. So I mean, Luke is like a damsel in distress. He constantly needs saving. I mean, there's like 4 or 5 in the first movie and 4 or 5 times in the second movie. In the third one, it ends with him needing to be saved by Anakin.
Yeah. Yep. But he eventually, and I think this is a good conclusion, he eventually saves himself from the Death Star after, he redeems his father, after his father saves him. If his father wouldn't have taken the chance and, threw Palpatine down the shaft, Luke would have been dead. And we are reading the book, Chusat Bakura, which is like just a day after, the Battle of Endor. And we do get a perspective of how much that Force lightning, how damaged Luke was from the Force lightning. We get to see him experience how bad that is it decalcified his bones or something like that, decalcification or something like that. They said,
I basically got soft bone syndrome for a little while.
Right.
Which imagine how that has to hurt.
Right.
If all your bones just go soft from lightning. That's painful.
Right. And they're like, and he's like, they have this message, they need to take care of some stuff. And he's like, I need to go help. And Obi-Wan says, I need to go help and stuff. And they're trying to keep him down. So there's a little bit of spoilers there. They try to make him rest, and he still wants to go out there and take care of things. Not being too mindful about his body and stuff like that. So it's a great story. It's a fun story to read. It's a prequel to Return of the Jedi. And
No, it's a sequel.
Prequel, sorry, sequel, not prequel, sorry. Yeah. So it's a very fun one to read. That's what we're reviewing right now. Hello,
Where?
Abu.
When are we gonna do the panel for this?
Oh shit, I'm supposed to get a hold of you guys. All right. So I will get that squared away here today. And so I'll tweet it once we get this schedule down for that. Abu Nas, finally able to get away from my work. Just got finished with this long ass meeting. Glad to know you guys are still going on. You're getting ready to end now. So you missed a great story, 2 and 3 of In the Shadows of Their Fathers. And yeah, so just go ahead and go back and rewatch when you can. I think you're gonna like the story. You're really gonna learn a lot about Luke here. So very, very good one. And then Orange Hat Reviews hurts like a Corellian hell. And then Abu's like, ugh. Ugh. Yeah. So I mean, so people, if you have not had a chance to pick up the book, you still have a chance. I've been down for a little bit, just trying to get rid of the sinus issues going on. And so I just didn't schedule the time with the panel to set, for a date. So you still have time to pick up the book. Read it. The Audible, I'm not recommending because there's a lot of nuances that I think you should read about. That's not inside the abridged Audible.
Yeah, this book is really abridged because it was recorded back in the day when audiobooks were on cassette tapes.
Yeah.
So the reason why they're abridged is due to space.
Mm-hmm.
They 10 hours on a cassette tape. That's like, I think one side was 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Or was it 20? I don't know.
Something like that.
Yeah, not a lot. And later on, they got less abridged due to the CDs happening. They were recorded on CDs.
Yeah.
And then they got unabridged when we got MP3 files.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So basically, the older the book is, the more abridged it is on audio.
Mm-hmm. And then so he says, copy that, honey. And Luke stuff is always a super plus. Yes, you need to go back and listen. And yeah, I think I don't know if you'll be surprised, but maybe you will with what happens with Luke in this comic. I'm not going to say anything else on that. Yeah, so thank you so much. And this is the Battle Jabiim chats here. So if you want to go back and watch that and then come back and watch these, putting those 2 together, it makes a lot of sense. Like I said, you can just get the copies of Battle of Jabiim and then the copies of In the Shadows of Their Father and put them together, and you have one awesome storyline going on. Nodding my head.
You know what he does when he nods his head?
What is that?
He nods his head and says, "You ain't never lied."
You ain't never lied.
Yeah, he does that.
Mm-hmm.
He does that. Oh. Or he goes, "Preach, my brother," or "Preach, my sister."
Yeah.
Yeah,
you got that down.
Yeah, he has things he does.
Yeah, he has his little quirks and stuff.
Yeah, he has patterns.
He has his patterns. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, see, he agrees.
And he's probably nodding his head right now too.
Yeah, and you know what that means? It means I pay attention when he speaks.
Yeah. Yep. There you go. Nodding my head. And then he says, ha ha ha. Wow, Stig knows me.
Yep.
He's like, he's got you down. He's got you down. All right, yep. Stig. So do you have anything happening this coming week? Are you showing up on anybody's channel? You got videos uploaded.
Just Mara's stream on Fridays for the Grinch Factor if I'm awake.
Okay.
And yeah, that's it.
Okay. All right. So starting from the 2nd to the 9th, I have training. So coffee chat will be tentative. I will announce if I'm able to do coffee chat or not. I don't have my full schedule yet. So
check the chat. Aubin Oz was nodding. Yeah, that's what I said. He does it. He nods.
Yeah, he's doing it behind there. Like we could see him. He's like, "Yep." Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If you say something he really agrees with, he'll nod and go, "You ain't never lied."
Right. You ain't never lied. And I am looking to interview. I haven't really confirmed anybody yet for Talking EU for October. So I got to plan that. So I'm planning out my October schedule. So again, from the 2nd through the 9th, everything's tentative. So I will let you guys know if we're going to have coffee chat or not. But whether we have it this come Thursday or the following, we are finishing up the Luke's arc of Jabiim. And so you guys, I highly recommend you guys come in for the finishing of this. I think that you guys will enjoy it. I highly did. It's such a great storyline. Yeah. And I apologize. My voice is kind of weird because I've been going through some sinus issues due to the air quality here where I live at. The mountains just west of or east of me, you know, that we've been having fires. And so the air quality has been really bad and it's been weighing down on my sinuses, you know, giving me a bit of a sinus infection kind of deal. So thank you for hanging out and dealing with my crazy voice going in and out. I love doing this for you guys. And so I wouldn't have it any other way. So if I sounded weird, that's what's going on. Let's see here. And Dad, man walking, great job. See you next time. Yes. And then Miss Martin Muses with her coffee mug here. Yeah. So thank you guys again for joining in. And again, those channel members who popped in today will get their name put in for a chance to win a copy of this painting here. And I am doing Quinlan Voss. And you know what? Before we leave, let me show it off because I've been showing it just on the channel more than anything else. So let's see here. And I'm wearing my glasses today because I need my glasses. Okay. So here we go. Let me go ahead and pop the screen. Whoopsie. Okay, there we go. Let's do the solo layout here. Here we go. So here it is. So this is Son of Kifu. And I just have to finish the saber, doing little minute correction details throughout the image here, finalizing the painting and stuff. And then I will make copies and have that available for purchase as well. I may do a incentive for my channel members to receive a copy of this as well. So I'm trying to figure out some fun stuff for you guys. So if you're not a channel member by now, what are you waiting for? Yeah, look after your voice. I hear that. Yeah. And then Soul Assassin, hit the like button. Yes, you guys hit the like button. Ugh. And then, oh, well, this looks freaking great. Thank you so much. I'm excited about it. It's, as you guys can tell, I've been doing a themed series. So all the characters that I paint, I put their home planets behind them. So, and base it upon that. Just switching things up. So I think that's fun. Yeah, Lady Toriel is most likely making space for a copy of Son of Kifu. Laugh out loud. Oh, yeah, she is.
Yeah, she's building an extra wall in her house.
Yep, she's like, give me the poster size or give me a wallpaper for that. Yeah. I'll take the wallpaper for that.
Bed sheet.
No, bed sheet. Wow. All right, you guys. So thank you guys again. It's always a pleasure to meet up with you guys for coffee chat. Coffee chat will, always run the comics, but there'll be times where we just sit and talk about Star Wars with you. So,
usually when that happens, it's because I've overslept.
Yeah, you overslept, and I've reviewed comics without you, but it's not as often as when I have you here with me. So, yeah. So thank you guys again for tuning in, and I shall talk with you guys later. Have a good day.
Take care and be well.